Hello. Welcome to our new season of Movie Club. So, Leila, what is the number of this season? Do you know?
Oh, what do you mean the number of the season?
Yeah, every year we start new season of Movie Club. So this season is number
the first one, right?
no. First one was, I don't know, in 2015, I guess. So probably it's a season 7, you know. So we are longer than average show on the TV.
Yeah.
Gerard, he wants to be famous.
I'm just having fun. No, I hope you too. So today we are having what we are having today. Wednesday, right? Wednesday, and it's a series, right? A fresh one this year, Teacher Lee, right?
Yeah, brand new. Well, 2022.
20, yeah, this year. It's impossible to have something in this year.
Yeah.
So it's already 1 year old, so not that fresh. Okay, and it's inspired by what? By Addams Family. Whoa, what do you know from Addams Family? Any music or something? Show us. Okay, I have mine. Please. Okay.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Remember
They are creepy, they are kooky, mysterious, and spooky.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen because Teacher Lee prepared synopsis, right? And a lot of questions. Let me see.
On the questions, Yvonne, there's a lot of them, so you can just skip and choose what questions you want to cover or combine several into one.
Yeah, let's do it like we are not in rush, but we are not, we don't have to put this in the order, so let's just have fun. So first of all, so Wednesday, as we said, it's provoked by all series Addams Family, right? It was on US TV, I believe.
Yeah.
But we had it as well. Maybe later, I guess, maybe not like how it's not on air, but later in recording we had it in Russia. I remember.
Not at the same time, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not very popular. It was I don't remember that it was a part of culture code or something, but it was pretty much known by people. So if you play this melody, probably
Wow.
people recognize it. Leila, what about you? Have you heard about Addams Family before?
No, I'm sorry. No.
Don't be sorry. It's not a problem. Vasant, what about you? Have you heard about Addams Family?
No.
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 Gerard, and you?
Yes, I watched all episodes, some of the all episodes, and the movies. I think the director is the same, Tim Burton, at the beginning of the 90s.
I don't know. I watched the Addams Family when I was like a teenager. So we're talking 50 years ago, 60 years ago. I don't think Tim Burton was.
But there are two movies. There are two movies at the beginning of the 90s.
Oh, yeah. He made some movies, maybe. That may be
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have you watched these movies? Addams Family?
I didn't watch the movies. Yeah.
There are two movies. Yeah?
Yeah.
You watched it? And was there a story or something? What was the story in the movie? Was it a detective or what it was?
About comedy, about Fester.
Okay, so about what?
Fester, uncle of Fester.
Okay. So old series was just how we call it? Just a sitcom, right? Situation comedy.
Yeah, it was a comedy, 100% comedy. Yeah.
So it has not kind of a whole plot, right? For the whole series. It was just to entertain you every week, right?
Exactly. Unrelated episodes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but Wednesday is very different, right? Wednesday has a, how to say it, a common story or general story. A story.
I would say it's a serial plot. Every episode depends on the one before.
Usually, in which category we can say the series, comedy, no, horror, no.
This new one is called a murder mystery.
Yeah.
It's an
Okay.
8-episode murder mystery. Yeah.
Okay.
or crime drama, but it's not really a crime drama. Murder mystery is better. It's a whodunit. Yeah.
Done. But it's kind of a detective, right? Can I say detective?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, and it has a special kind of artwork, or how we say it, special genre, right? So they are black, they're all about. So I don't know, is it a common term, but in Russia we call this kind of a gothic or goth, right?
Yep.
Mythology or something, mythology or style, probably. Is it a style, right? Goth
Yeah.
style.
Yeah. Goth-like, probably better. Yeah. Goth-like.
Leila, have you heard about this idea, you know, goth, gothic and everything?
No, I'm sorry. When you say Gothic, I just think of the, architecture, decoration, but goat like, I don't know.
Mhm.
Now I was just taking down some notes, because it's the first time I have heard about a goat movement of people.
In today's society, there's a group of teenagers or a wave, it's a movement really called the goth movement.
Mhm.
And
Is it-
these kids
it-
like to dress in black and white, and
Okay,
they use black lipstick, and the face is kind of pale. They look kind of like vampires,
Yeah.
and that's
Okay.
their style. I don't know, they like to dress in black and white and look vampire like. I don't know why, but we call them goths because they kind of
Okay.
look like the old Gothic era.
So it is a new trend, right?
It's not that new. It's 5-10 years. I don't know. It's not a new trend. It's been around for a while. It's just not very popular, so you don't see it much.
Okay.
Okay, I
Totally.
don't know
Thank
about
you.
the whole world. I don't know about the whole world, but in Russia it was popular when I was a student. So it was about 15 years ago. Gods were like everywhere, you know. So they had their costumes, they had their music. Have you heard their music? So it's
No.
always sad, you know, and dark and everything. Vasans, do you have gods in India?
Gods?
Yeah, you know, these guys, you know, who wear black, who pretend they're zombies or vampire, they have their god's music, and they, you know, read kind of black humor poems and everything.
No.
So it's not that international as we thought about it. But Gerard, it exists in your place, right?
Yes, yes. And also Gothic is relating to Gothic novels. It
Novels,
says
yes.
on the dictionary, it says a style of fiction characterized by the use of desolate or remote settings and macabre, mysterious or violent incidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was always, you know, violent, spooky, right? So it's a Gothic style.
Devoid
Actually,
of emotion and color. Yeah.
and my impression, at least when I was a student in Russia, you know, all the girls like it to be, you know, in goth, this subculture, or how we call it. So they enjoyed it. So they enjoyed these black dresses and everything, you know, to pretend they are dead already. I don't know why, but it was very popular.
Yeah. I don't see it much anymore. Maybe it's died out. I don't know.
Well, I guess so, but sometimes from time to time, even in Turkey, I see people who dressed like, you know, this subculture, especially
Really?
girls, young girls. Yeah. Not very often, but from time to time I can see this. Yeah, so it
Okay.
exists.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so this Wednesday series it's made in this style, right? Gothic style, old, I don't know, spooky, mysterious. What else? How we can describe
Creepy.
it? Creepy.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and ooky. They're all together spooky.
Yeah, and connected to, you know, to deaths, to and some mystic ways, right? So some mystic creatures. That's how I define it. Okay, so today we discuss only first episode, so probably it's, you know, our introduction to the series. I don't know we will continue or not, but let's try to answer these questions, right? So Leila, would you answer please, number one?
Okay. Describe Wednesday's manner and bearing. Okay. she looks really serious. For me, a bit frightening. The film starts while she's walking along the corridor hall at school. Everybody was looking at her because she's weird, you know. She has really pale skin, dark hair, dark eyes, and I mean, she is irritating for me. And as for her mannerisms and expression, her expression, wow, so serious, you know, so sulky. And manners are a bit, how can I say, really, she's really rough, you know, tough guy, we say. She's really tough. She, that's all of you want. Everybody was looking at her because she's not normal.
Can we say she's kind of blunt, right? She is not trying to be polite. She is going to say what she meant, right? So you are not the best mother
Yeah.
in the world.
She's looking around with so merciless eyes, you know. I don't
Def-
know.
Yeah, definitely not politically correct.
Maybe that's the reason why the series is so popular. Maybe we mix, you know, all these roots and I don't know what's the term for this. Yeah, you know, speaking.
I'm surprised it was allowed to be published. You know,
Wow. Yes. How
released.
how it's possible?
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe because of family, Adam's family. You know, they say, you know, we didn't invent anything. You know, it was there, so we just, you know, take it. Interesting. Okay, let's go further. Well, do we have a company music for our class? What does Wednesday find in her locker at school and why? Gerard, do you remember?
Yes, her brother Pugsley is tied inside and crammed inside the locker with an apple in his mouth, like a pig, roast pig. But actually, you know, I think in the old TV series or movies, Wednesday used to do this kind of pranks to her brother.
Yeah, she said only I can torture my brother. Yeah, it's okay if I do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was this line in the movie, right? Exactly. Yeah. So he was a victim of bullying, right? In the school, and she kind of protected him, right?
Yeah.
From this. Okay, number 3. Vasant, do you remember what action does she take
Yes.
to save her brother?
Yeah. She went to the swimming pool where the bullies are having fun. She released some piranha fishes in the pool, and the fishes bite the main guy. Yeah.
The how we call it? The leader of the bullies gang, right?
It's a swim team.
Yeah, the swim team were the guilty culprits, and they were having a private practice. The pool only had the swim team people in it.
It's also so dark, you know. She said that I'm the only one who bullies my brother.
But so she used this fish, how we call this, piranha?
Piranha.
Something dangerous, piranha, right?
Yeah.
It's dangerous. But do you have this fish with you usually?
No, that's really new, and I got to know about that fish from the movie. You know, they made a special movie, Piranha. And yeah, they're so famous. Deadly fishes.
Yeah, they're actually illegal to own in the US.
Wow.
Because they're deadly and we don't want them to get released into our rivers. We don't want the Amazon to come to America, you know.
But I remember that I heard about them when I was young, and I read some article in the newspaper or something, and it was said in this article that, you know, a cow went to the river and was like totally eaten, like, you know, to zero.
Yeah.
You know? to the bones.
They
But
say about 7 seconds. A large school of piranha can clean all the meat off of a cow in 7 seconds.
Wow.
They are voracious in large numbers.
well, I do understand why teacher Lee said school of piranha.
School.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What does it mean? You know, it's kind of a collective verb, right? For the fish. So for the fish we call it school. For the wolves we call it pack, right? Do you know? So not we don't say group of wolves. We say pack of wolves, right? And there are many collective verbs like this.
Yeah.
Crow. I remember something about crow, right? It was
Murder of crows.
murder of crows.
That's why when they murdered some crows, it was a murder of crows. Yeah. A little pun there. Yeah.
Yeah. But there are really many, right? So I remember that there were special words for, I don't remember, elephants or something. So many of them to animals. Hive.
Yeah, I
beehive.
forget what elephants. Yeah. But if you say group or herd or flock, most people use group, herd, or flock.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks God. Thank God for this. Yeah. Okay. Number 5. Well, could you?
Describe the Adams family as driving Wednesday to a new school.
Mhm.
I remember that it was very strange when he was driving. I thought his name was Lach.
Mhm.
And in the movie they hit him when he caught the walk.
Yeah, you're talking about Family Adams movie. Yeah?
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay, so this kind of servant, right? Of them, who else? Butler, right? Who else?
Pugsley,
Who's Pugsley?
brother of Wednesday.
Okay, who else?
Morticia,
Who's Martisha?
mom,
Her mother. How would you describe Martisha?
like her,
What-
very white,
Very
white,
black? Very pale, right? So her skin is white.
and also I remember Wednesday said, I always look half dead.
Half that. Okay, so her, what do you think about origin of her mother? Where she's from? What do you think? Origin. Is she American? Is she, I don't know, from Poland?
Mm,
He looks something Slavic to me, something Romanian or something.
yeah. Wednesday had Italian.
Italian. Okay. What and who else? Her father, right?
Her father, yes.
What?
I think they're from Italy, maybe.
From Italy. Okay.
They are speaking.
Teacher Lee, what do you think? Not from Italy?
No, the only reason she learned Italian as a foreign language because Machiavelli is a famous Italian who committed devious, sneaky plots and crimes. And she admired him. So she learned Italian so she could read Machiavelli's original writings and thoughts.
But Gerard, what do you think about their origins? So are they Americans or are they
I
from
think
Romania?
the family, the name of the father is Gomez. That's a very common family name, a Spanish family name. So I think he's from Mexico.
I remember mother said Goody was very long cousin from Mexico.
From Mexico? Okay. So some family part in Mexico. Right?
Now, in the original series, Morticia could speak French. She would speak French sometimes. I think in the original series, she was French and he was American. Even though his name was Gomez, he wasn't. Well, maybe he was a little Spanish. He had the mustache, so yeah.
Yeah, but
But you would think Romania would be a good place for them to be from, right?
and they speak kind of Latin in Romania, so it would explain some Italian or something. So it's very close Roman languages.
Yeah.
But looking at this family, we understand why they are spooky, right? Creepy and mysterious. Leila, what do you think of Martisha? How she looks? How would you describe it?
I mean, I first saw her in the car
Mhm.
with her husband. When I saw her husband, I wanted to hide somewhere. You see, I mean, I didn't understand at first why a strange woman and such a ugly. I'm sorry, man. And then she looks, I mean, elegant because I like her dress, long hair, loose hair. Yeah, teacher said sexy. She looks sexy, but there's something in her eyes, just make me a bit tense. And the way they treat each other as a couple, and when Wednesday is around, is not good as a mother for me. And she seems even as if she has no feelings at all.
Well, when I look of a woman of such behavior, I think about aristocracy, about high
Come
posh class.
on.
They never show their feelings. They speaking very formal. Even to closest family. So would you please give me something like this? So what I think about?
I
Well,
don't think so.
She does want to bond with Wednesday, so she does have some emotions. She wants to bond with her daughter, be close to her daughter. Wants her daughter to follow in her footsteps, right? But Wednesday,
Her daughter in the age of how we call this, of a
She's a teenage.
she's teenager,
Right?
yeah. But what's the word for this? So when you always opposite against your parents, right? So whenever parents say,
Rebellious.
yeah, rebellious, right? Exactly.
rebellious, yeah,
So you cannot.
contrary, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's possible, to make a bond with a teenager. How will you do this?
But her mother looks bossy. She's very bossy.
Probably yes. Probably to her husband at least, right? So her husband look it like what we call under the shoe in Russia. So
Puppets. He's like a puppet.
okay, let's go to the school. Let's describe this Nevermore Academy. Gerard, could you help us? Number 6.
Yes, it's a school for outcasts, for people who have problems.
Mhm.
In this case, also people that are vampires, weird people. But I like, they mix up, a famous writer, Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
He wrote books, horror books, very, very famous. Very short tales. There are a collection of short tales that are very famous. And
Yeah. Yeah, I like this author. I remember my favorite one was Golden Buck or something like this from when I was young. It was interesting. Okay, I think the name is speaking by themselves, right? Nevermore Academy.
That was from a poem he wrote called The Raven.
Mhm.
The raven is a blackbird,
Yeah.
and the poem is about death and maybe coming back from death as a ghost. And it has a recurring refrain. It always, every stanza ends in nevermore, nevermore, nevermore. So you keep hearing nevermore in this poem over and over. So they called this academy Nevermore Academy, which is cute. Okay.
Yeah, you see, we can find a lot of Gothic heritage everywhere, right? So it seems that it's a popular idea for humankind, right? We have authors, we have poems, we have music, architecture, everything for this. Okay, I think we already answered number 7, right? So her relationship with her mom. Jericho, right? How you pronounce it?
Jericho.
Jericho. It's a Bible kind of topic, right? Jericho.
It's a Bible story, a city in the Bible. There's a story about it. It was a walled city. It had a
Yeah.
big wall around it, like the Kremlin.
Yeah.
And the Israelites were trying to conquer the city, but they couldn't. So God said, walk around the city every day for 7 days and blow this horn, boo, this trumpet, boo. And on the 7th day, the walls just collapsed and fell down, and Israel conquered the city.
Well,
So-
yeah, pretty strange.
So a miraculous tale. Yeah, God's
Mm.
miraculous power. Yeah. Yeah.
Jericho, right? But actually, I don't remember how it's connected to our series, to our episode. Vasant, can you answer? No.
I think she
connection?
was. I think she went to visit a psychiatrist to
Mhm.
consult with the psychiatrist. So that's where she went.
It's just a local town. It's the town where the school is located. The school's on the outskirts of Jericho. Jericho, maybe they named it Jericho here because it's kind of a walled city. They're trying to keep they don't want the outcasts to come visit their town. They want the outcasts to stay outside the walls, if you will.
Yeah, I like this idea because it explains, right, the name. So if you have a wall around the town, it explains the idea.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Vasant,
they
do
don't
you
like
remember
the students. Yeah.
Vasant, do you remember these hikers, number 9?
Hiker.
Yeah, it's a guy who went through the forest, if I'm right.
Oh yeah, he went there, and I don't know what he was intended to do. I think he had a camera with him, so probably he wanted to take some photographs with that, and he was having his tea or drink alone, but he was suddenly attacked by a monster, unknown monster. Yeah.
Yeah, we have not seen the monster itself, right?
Yeah.
But we understand it's something powerful, right? Because it
Yeah.
ate him in 1 second, I remember.
Yeah.
And he had previously been talking with someone, and they were talking about werewolves.
Mhm.
And that when he left, she said, look out for werewolves, like it was maybe a joke. But then suddenly he's killed maybe by a werewolf. So he kind of jinxed himself, maybe.
It's a good word, jinx. Oh, do you remember
Yeah.
what does mean?
Yeah.
Jinx. When you predict something bad and something bad happened, so you can kind of spoil it the fate, right, of the person by
Yeah.
jinx. Good.
Look out for werewolves. There's no werewolves.
I remember in one book I read the term kind of Iona or something. We read a book about sailors and they say, don't jinx us, don't
Yeah.
say aloud what you expect. And they
Yeah.
call this Iona. Is it an English word? No? Iona? Probably Greek or something, right? Okay.
I don't recognize the word. If you spell it, I might know it, but
I have to find in the book. Okay, I will try to post in our chat. So
okay.
we read that in Jack London, I believe, right? You want to know? Okay, we will find.
You mean irony? Irony?
No, it was written like, let me write in the chat. We have my chat. So it was written like this. Oh no. So it was a kind of a bad forecast or something. So they say, don't say this, it will become an Iona. So something like this. Okay, I have
Yeah.
to Google. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ona.
I don't
another
know
good
that one. Yeah, I don't know Iona. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
word. Good.
All right.
Leila, what about number 10? So let's speak about the name.
What did Marshall give Wednesday her strange name? I remember this. Her mother's favorite song, nursery rhyme.
Mhm.
Yes. That's why she was called Wednesday.
Yeah. And this rhyme kind of strange, right? So Wednesday is
Wednesday's child is full of woe. Woe, it means sadness, right?
So I don't
Yeah.
think there is any logic, right? It's just, probably first letter or something just for fun. Because
I mean, nothing
nothing,
is logical here anyway.
well, sometimes we can find some logic.
I can't, I'm
But-
sorry.
There's a poem and every day of the week, if you're born on that day of the week, the poem gives you a certain emotion.
Yeah.
So if you're born on Wednesday, your emotion is woe. You're a sad child. If you're
Mhm.
born on Friday, you're sad. Friday, you have to work hard for a living. If you're born on Saturday, you're cheerful. But if you're born on Sunday, you're just wonderful
And laziness.
and lazy. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Okay, Vasant, may I ask you, what is your week of day of the week when you was born? Do you know?
It was the Thursday.
How do you know? I have no idea about my.
Usually, when I apply for online, I have to select the date of birth, and it shows Thursday.
Okay. So I thought I made a trap for you, just I'm asking, you don't know, because I don't know
Okay.
myself. Leila, what is your day?
I asked mommy, she said Monday. Could be hardworking.
Okay. But now we have calendars, right? We can look at the calendar if you need to.
I was waiting for Fatima. Great.
Okay. Let's go further. Number 11. Gerard, could you please describe the conversation with the principal?
I love it.
Yeah. Vova has his instrument here. Gerard, you're muted. We don't hear you.
Thanks you, teacher Lee.
Okay.
Mhm.
The principal named Margaret when checking Wednesday into the school. Okay, I think
I
she was.
remember- Yeah, I remember that this principal was a roommate of Martisha, right?
Mhm.
So they are, they know each other in a way, right? And I remember that they were not happy about each other. So it was kind of a, how we call it, when they speak, in a way that you tease each other. So kind of try to make some irony or something.
Yes,
So
so-
I remember, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
but
Tease,
I,
I
un-
guess.
I understand Wednesday was accepted because this partnership, because the Adamses were well known, they were part of the academy.
Mhm, mhm.
But Wims looks able to deal with Wednesday. She doesn't seem surprised, it's nothing weird for her.
Mhm.
So the problem was Wednesday was going to change schools in the middle of the school year, which is not ideal. A lot of kids can't catch up because they missed half a year of those subjects. But so she didn't want to accept Wednesday because of two reasons. One, it was mid-year. And two, she said, you've been in 8 schools in 5 years.
Yeah.
So that means she's a lot of trouble. And she didn't really want a trouble child. Well, she's got troubled children already, so I don't know why that bothered her. But she figured that Wednesday would be a discipline problem.
But I think
Go ahead.
the main problem was she killed with the prank with the piranha. She killed 2 guys.
That's true. At her last school, 2 students died. Yeah.
Died and one lost his testicles. So I think it was her vengeance was unproportionate, because the prank to her brother was nothing compared to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Weems
Lee,
was a little worried about Wednesday at her school.
Can we say here she's bad news?
Yeah, she was bad news. Patricia, your daughter is bad news.
and Principal Wims tell the sheriff that her students are outcast but not murderers, but actually it's not true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, let's talk about the students a little bit. So Vova, could you please cover number 12?
12. Describe any personality.
Who is Enid?
Enid is Wednesday new roommate.
Okay.
She's opposite to Wednesday.
Yeah. She looks bright, right? Colorful. She's happy. She's a nice girl overall, right? What else? Why she is in this school? Why Enid is in this school?
She's a werewolf,
Yeah.
but not she cannot wolf out.
Mhm.
Wow.
She can't howl.
She can't fully transform. Yeah,
So a werewolf is a defect.
right. She's a defective werewolf. Yeah.
Okay. Fatima, can you talk today? Would you like to answer some questions? Okay, probably not, right? Vasant, can you help us with number 13? So this, clans inside the school.
Yes, each clan has different abilities, and it's like a kind of Harry Potter kind of school, magic school. They all have special abilities, and they have gangs. And I think the gang is also used to perform in various activities in the, I think, team.
Kind of like cliques, student cliques. They all group together.
Yeah.
Similar tastes or similar abilities. Yeah.
So who are stoners? Who are stoners? What's their abilities? Oh, do you know? Stoners.
Gorgons.
Gorgons? What is it?
Like from mythology with snakes.
Medusa.
Medusa.
Yeah.
Medusa. Yeah.
Okay. And who are scales? Who's
Scales?
huh?
No. Yes.
Guys, help us. We don't know. Just we don't hear you. I know.
Mermaids
Mermaids.
Yes.
and
We
man
call them sirens. They're a special kind of mermaid.
Okay.
They sing, and when they sing and a man hears their voice, the man is entranced and has to follow the sound. So they lure you to your death.
And
Wow.
we call them scales because of their skin, right? This.
Yeah, their tail. Their mermaids have a fish tail, so the fish tail has scales. Fish, we call fish skin. We call it scaly because it's made up of little round scales that overlap each other,
Good,
and you
good.
can scrape them off.
Okay. Okay, Fangs, Furs. So Furs is werewolves, and Fangs they're vampires or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think they will. I don't know how to call the Xavier.
For this.
He can paint something, and his paint become
Kind of a magician, right? So
yes.
he draws something and it becomes true, right? Become true.
Yeah, there's a couple of other strange abilities too.
Okay, nice. Okay, we have 3 more names to describe. Leila, do you know someone from them? Javier.
Bianca is a black lady with short hair, student there, and she is called the Queen Bee. She's good at sports and martial arts.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember. This is kind of fencing, right?
Yeah. Fencing. She's good at fencing as well. And if I'm not wrong, Bianca and Wednesday they came together and they just fought, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, fencing, right? And Queen Bee won the game. I
And
remember that.
shocked, yeah, shocked Wednesday because Wednesday thought she was pretty good too.
Yeah. Mhm.
What about Javier? Who is he?
Xavier,
Xavier.
You mean Torp, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Art student, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, he was the sullen guy that liked to draw art. He had a book of art.
Mhm.
He's the one that drew the spider. I think he drew a
Okay.
spider.
Mhm.
But
So he was sullen, creative, yeah.
This name in English sometimes is pronounced Xavier.
Some people don't know how to pronounce it, so they pronounce it Xavier, but it's really pronounced Xavier.
Yes, I know. In
So
Spanish,
Gerard-
you'll hear Xavier. Yeah.
Gerard, I don't know how to pronounce it. That's why I said Torp.
Okay. Fatima, would you like to answer number 16? Ajax, or I don't know how it is. Ajax.
Number 16. Okay. So he was Ajax. Yeah. He was a student who weren't in it about Wednesday. So he was gossiping about Wednesday, and he didn't see her at first, but then Wednesday corrected him by saying that she didn't eat her victims because he said that about her.
Yeah.
Instead, she fed them to her pets.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't eat them myself. I let my pets eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not sure if she's serious or joking,
Yeah.
but because she had piranha, I think she was serious.
Okay, number 17. Go, please. Enlighten us.
Describes the
Brooch.
brooch that Morticia gives Wednesday before departing.
So let's start with this. What is a brooch?
In English, it's kind of
I think it's something that you connect to, you attach to your clothes.
Yeah. A
Some kind of
pin.
if it was a soldier, I would say it's kind of a medal, right? But it's not
Yeah.
a soldier, it's kind of a jewelry for
um,
for attractive women.
I
Yeah,
think
women usually wear brooches, men don't.
like a chain or something.
Nope.
Okay. And it was M and V, Wednesday and Morticia.
Yeah.
It is for visions.
It's kind of a phone, right? you can call by this brooch?
No.
No?
No, phone was this ball.
Ball? Ah, okay. Sorry. Okay. So what was brooch for? Just to remind about mother?
It's for visions, I think.
For visions? To predict future?
Mm. I don't understand. Was it Morticia said it was did like very many years ago.
Okay. It's
But I don't understand. Wednesday, did she know about Wednesday?
okay. So your point is if it was an old thing, so how did they know that it will be Wednesday, right? Wednesday.
Maybe it wasn't Wednesday, just it was Morticia.
Okay.
The brooch was made of a black stone called obsidian.
Mhm.
And in ancient times, native tribes, their witch doctors, their shamans, their magic people used to believe that obsidian helped you see the future.
Yeah.
So the fact that Morticia gave her a stone made of obsidian and knew this history makes us think that she probably knew that Wednesday was going to have her ability to predict the future.
I see. Okay, I kind of missed this part about the brochure.
Yeah. So she gave it to Wednesday on several levels. One, it was a daughter mother bonding thing, M and W.
Okay.
But the stone was the vision, psychic ability kind of connection.
Interesting. Okay, let's go to the next one. 18, right? Osas, can you help us with this? What was Wednesday's opinion at the beginning?
Of the Nevermore Academy. She suspected something. Something was wrong. She began to investigating. Yes, she didn't trust the chief. Is she a principal of that academy? Who's that lady?
Weems, Weems was the principal.
Yeah, is the principal. So she didn't like it. So
But was she happy to be at the school?
no, she was not happy.
Okay. She considered it a prison, and her job was to escape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she hated it. She hated it.
And principal uses, right? So she expected that Wednesday will try to escape, right? And her job
Yeah.
was to keep to keep the girl inside, right? So-
Exactly. She was the principal's the warden of the prison that keeps her from escaping. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm watching you.
Okay, number 19, the thing. So, Gerard, what is the thing?
It's a hen. It's a dismembered hen that has its own life. It's like a person, but without a. It looks like it has a can think and can do anything. The hen, it's a part of the person, but it actually like it was the whole person because it looks intelligent and with feelings, emotions, and everything.
Very,
Exactly.
very weird. Yeah. It can
Yeah.
see and hear and it's emotional. Yeah.
It's a part of the family, but they don't know where the thing comes from. It's weird. Why they don't ask the thing? Where are you coming from? Where's the rest of your body?
Yeah. Yeah. We don't know who it was in the TV series. We never knew who it came from or how it got there. They just always had this pet called Thing. Yeah.
So
I like
a bit of mystery, right? A bit of
yes,
mystery.
and the relationship with Wednesday. Wednesday threatens the hen.
She put her in the drawer, right? In the locker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the job of the sink in the beginning? So what was the job given to the sink?
To spy on Wednesday, yes,
Yeah.
from her
Yeah.
parents.
Okay. Okay, let's go further. Number 20. Vasant, could you help us?
The scene in the forest between sheriff and his deputy. Yeah, they were trying to search for the body, but they couldn't find it. I think they couldn't find the body. No, they found it, but in pieces. Lot of pieces. Head was there, and the hand was somewhere else. So it was not just the work of any ordinary human. So it must be somebody.
So
Yes.
the old black woman deputy, there was a little humor here. Where's the body? Well, the legs over there and the arms over there hanging in a tree.
Well, yeah, so it's not just a murder, just a criminal crime scene, right? There is something more, something mysterious. You have to, call, I don't know who, FBI for this. Well,
Yeah.
time flies fast, so I don't think we should continue with the question. So let's just, talk a little bit in general about the kind of the series or how we like it or so on and so on, and then we will do some slides if it's work for us. So Leila, let's start for you. Tell us why you don't like the series.
Sorry, who told you that I didn't like?
Well, it was a provocation, Leila. What do you think of? Let me rephrase. So let me put it this way. So after watching the episode 1, did you have an intent to watch episode 2 and 3 and the next one?
No. But you know, you have been my friend for a long time, and you know my taste when films are concerned. But this movie is really, really interesting. And this is not the ones that I used to watch, so it attracts my attention, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's different. Well, I kind of enjoy the part. I enjoy when it's really different. So sometimes, because you not got used to it already, you think it's what is that, right? It's kind of strange. You have to spend some time to understand the idea. So I understand this part, but sometimes it's good, when that we have all the variety, right? All the variety of topics.
Sure.
Good.
And also, I just can't. At first, I said, "Ooh, what a disgusting girl," and then I tried to feel empathy, and then I said, "Okay, what's gonna happen?"
Yeah, so
I'm okay.
they are vampires and witches, but they are just kids after all, right?
Yeah. Very nice kids, Ivan.
Vasanth wanted to say something.
Yeah. I also had the same thought as Leila, because I think I was not expecting a small girl to solve the mysteries and everything, because I was tuned to the male and brilliant the Sherlock kind of detectives before. So it's new to me. So let's see. It might happen because it's a popular series, as I know. So maybe in the upcoming episodes, they might have some surprises for us.
Yeah, if you like
I
Sherlock
agree.
Holmes, you're going to like this series. Yeah.
Teacher Lee, if you ask me to watch this series, how can I say no? Of course, I will watch it.
But
You'll enjoy it. Yeah.
Vasant, may I ask you more? So you say that you are not familiar with this Gothic style and this, family Adams things. So what do you think about this? Is it your style? Do you like the picture? Do you like the art? Or it's something strange for you?
No, I like this art because I have already seen the Sherlock. It was done by Robert Downey Jr., that kind of archaic, old style drama. Yeah, this music also, the eerie music also reminded me that series, the Sherlock Holmes feeling. Yeah, it gave me that. I like this one. Yeah.
I see. Jart, what about you? Did you enjoy watching this?
Yeah, I binge watch all the episodes in 1 week.
Shame on you.
Yeah. And
Fatima, what about you? What do you think about this episode 1 of the series itself?
I like it very much. Even though, I mean, as the guys here said, comparing it to the detective movies, it's kind of different because she's a little girl. But I enjoyed the way the events are happening, and they're explaining more things in the second episode that I just watched today. So I'm like, yeah, I have to watch it to watch the full series, but I'm following it with Teacher Lee. So just one per week.
Well, should I ask you or not? Because
Who will love it? I'm sure.
I already told that I found Vova, in the middle of the night watching this series without me.
Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this. I usually avoid reality while watching a film. I just need some free time to make myself happy. But your taste made me, believe me, so happy because these widen my horizon a lot. different movies, different,
Mm.
you know, thriller movies. I mean, Teacher Lee, what you said today about Wednesday murder mystery.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm watching every kind of film
Good, good.
thanks to you.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm glad you need to expand your horizons. That's right.
Sure.
Imagination makes life interesting, you know?
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Vova, I interrupted you. What you were about to say?
I think it's like Eastern egg. It was all about Edgar Allan Poe,
Mhm.
and there's one story of him about murder on street of
Yeah. So
and it was also murder by something non-human.
okay, yeah.
Very cruel.
Yeah, it's a good observation. So this series, it's full of Easter eggs. It has a lot of reference to different, let's say, artworks and poems and books and everything, right? And stories.
I think like when she said, and like over there, and the whole body is the lake.
Yeah, what is the way?
It looks like this story, something non-human attacked person.
Yeah, so kind of reference of kind of ideas from different books. And you know, I know that Teacher Lee wrote a lot about these connections, right, to different stories and poems between series. So we can follow this way, right?
Yeah, this series has a lot of references to other things in life, you know, Edgar Allan Poe and The
Yeah.
Raven and, you know, A Murder of Crows and a lot of puns, a lot of irony. It's a
Yeah.
pretty deep series, really. You might miss a lot of this if you're not, you know, really good at English. So I try to share some of that with you. They're doing this in a cute way, you know.
And actually, I'm impressed because, you know, I don't think that modern movies are like this, right? Modern movies
No.
are shallow most of the time, you know. Bach,
Yeah.
bach, bach, everyone is dead, so that's all.
Yeah, I hate those movies.
Come
yeah.
on, Ivan. Teacher Lee, after our discussion last week, Ivan told me that he loved the attraction a lot. Yeah, extraction. You told me.
Yeah, but it's different style, Leila, you know. So
No,
there are some movies that
I'm kidding. Extraction is so imaginative. I can agree with you. You know, believe me.
what I'm trying to say is that in general, you know, nowadays it's not worth it to make a deep movies, right?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
you don't have audience for this. So you better, you know, make like 10, you know, 10 simple movies. That one, you know, with
Yeah.
with some sense inside. So that's why I'm impressed.
Yeah. Audiences don't like thinking movies for the most part. Most people like comedies because they don't have to think.
Yep.
And they can feel smart.
Teacher
you know,
Lee,
yeah.
I don't feel smart after I watch action film. I feel relaxed.
That's
What?
right, because action films you don't think. You just
Yeah,
watch.
yeah,
You just
yeah.
watch people hitting each other.
You know, you must be proud of me because I wrote a lot of words. I wrote a summary after I watched Wednesday. Come
Wow,
on.
very
Yeah.
good. Cool.
Well, it's you know, everyone has his own taste, so it's totally fine, you know, to see some entertaining movies. Totally fine. We don't blame everyone, but you know, sometimes I enjoy the movies, you know, with spy games. It's my favorite, you know, when one guy sitting in the room trying to, you know, to overthink someone else. And I try to understand this plot. It's something, you know, that I like, some twists and everything. So that's why I'm by this movie and its references to old poems and something. It's not usual. It's unusual. for me.
Ivan, also,
Yeah.
thanks to this movie class, thanks to Teacher Lee, we can argue with each other. We can discuss some things, and this helps us to have a different point of view.
I agree.
I'm
I-
happy. I'm
Mhm.
happy.
I agree. You know, I learned a lot of things. So I shared this once. You know, so nowadays, what the main thing I learned from our class is that I don't have assumptions that someone has the same point of view as I am, or some knowledge as I am, because
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I always get surprised. You know, so I notice it this and that, but another person notice it. You know, different things because of their cultural background. So it's a kind of very, I don't know, very impressive.
Eye opening. Yeah.
I hope, yes, I hope. So I remember once, teacher Lee, do you remember once there was a girl from Vietnam and we discussed something about World War II and Caribbean crisis, and she asked us why USA just don't order to Soviet Union to make something. So I remember this. So, it was interesting because it was her point of view, you know, that USA is just, you know, a god that can, you know, dictate the deal to everyone. So it was interesting.
That's right. Russia, don't do that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Doesn't work. Yeah.
Okay, let's do some slides, you know, to make to call the end, right? To
Yes, ask Fatima first. I'm sir.
okay. I don't think that it's a Gothic font. You know, Gothic fonts are a little bit different. So they made by, let me try to Google it, Gothic font. So usually they are very different. They written by yeah, like this. This one is Gothic in my
Sharp points. Yeah. Sharp points.
yeah, they use, you know, special, how we call this, steel. Yeah, so I have one, you know, this kind of, let me find my
Kind of old English, we call it.
yeah. So Old English or copper plate, it's called.
Copper plate. Yeah.
There is a special, well, can you see my device?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just looking at you, right?
So I put this in the ink and I can make,
Oh, really?
yeah, and
Very
I-
old.
yeah, it's real. And I can
How
make
did you find it, Iwan?
like everywhere, in every shop.
They're called fountain pens
Yeah.
or
Here,
script
maybe I don't know.
pens. Yeah. You can buy them in hobby shops.
Yeah. And this is all English. And I always like, you know, to make these fonts because they're kind of, it's kind of an art. It's very hard to write in this font. I guess.
Called
Okay.
calligraphy. Yeah. Calligraphy.
Wow.
It's very decorative writing, very pretty, very flourishing. Yeah. This one looks like thorns. Are these thorns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vasant?
It's
Like a briar, like the briar bushes. Yeah.
I like it.
okay, let's describe something. Leila, could you please start?
This is at the beginning of the movie. She came to the school and she opened her locker and found her brother and tried to make him confess what happened to him. Afterwards, because of her abilities, she understood what happened, and then she stood up and tried to take the revenge, right? The colors, first of all, red. And this means for me, you know, also the poster of the skeleton and swords just made me, you know, think the pirates, horror, and principle, it says under it. And her face, wow, she's like a statue. Okay, I must go and finish my job.
So if you look at the locker, there's a pirate flag.
Yeah,
It looks like there's a little wolf face.
where's the, okay, Chichili, okay, I saw it.
I can't tell what the other things are.
Maybe the group's
Yeah.
posters.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe something in stone and something that's
Yep.
a cat woman or something. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be, but and you got the horror movie poster above that, says horror.
And it says principal. Have you seen that?
Yeah. So they're saying
I mean-
she's like a pirate. She's like an evil
Yeah, yeah.
person or something. Yeah. I don't know.
And also in my country, red means a lot of things, one of which is anger, hatred.
Yeah.
that's-
Yep.
Attracts my attention.
Yeah.
What was this pirate flag? It's a Happy Roger, right? Happy Roger.
Jolly Roger.
Jolly.
The Jolly Roger flag, we call it. Ho, 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 and a bottle of rum.
15 men on the one. That's how it's.
Yeah, 15 men on a dead man's chest.
That's.
Yeah.
Yes, she's looking like she looks like gods to me, right? All
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
always set and everything. Okay, swimming team. Vova, could you please tell us about this picture?
It is a swimming pool.
Pretty big one, right? So it's my usually
And no strange form, not like in lines.
yeah, usually swimming pools, at least in our country, usually they have kind of lanes, right, for speedy swimming or something, right? So
Mhm.
they're kind of short, but this one is almost square, right, for the game. How we call this game? How it's called? I don't know. Is
Water polo.
water polo? Okay.
It's like soccer, but we call it water polo, I think. Same idea. Get the ball in the net.
Whoa, look at the left. What can you see on the left? There are these floating lines that mark the roads.
Yes, you can.
You can put them in the water and you will have these lanes for swimming. So it's just temporary, removed. Yeah, we have this in our pool. Okay. Anything else? Huge panoramic windows. A lot of sun everywhere.
And even a door.
There you go. Okay, so the team is training, right? Training for the team. So and
Yep.
there will be piranha, right?
Piranha.
Piranha.
Piranha. It's not Spanish. Well, it maybe is, but
Piranha. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's find something. Wow. Vasant, could you please describe this picture?
Well, they are for that mission. They're talking to the principal, and we can see a lot of lightings, table lamps, and an eagle on the statue on the table, a telephone, and yeah, I think it's hard to connect that because they are all dressed in a old way, in a medieval kind of dressings, but they say everything is contemporary. They have cellular phones, Facebook, Instagram, and everything, so it's hard to connect. And yeah, there is a teacup and diaries and letter pads and hour clock, I think. Is that a hour clock or a trophy?
I can't tell.
Yeah.
Looks like a trophy of some kind, a trophy cup, maybe. Is that an elephant on the right?
Yes.
I don't know why an elephant's
It's
there.
like an eagle or something.
Stable, it's a raven, I guess.
Oh,
But look at her desk. It's very organized. Everything is nice and straight.
Yes, I think Martisha have some mistake with her legs. When she walks, she has like that, like she has some tentacles.
Okay, really?
Yeah, her sleeves are long. So it looks like octopus tentacles. And her dress has kind of a wedding dress trailing behind it. So yeah, she looks kind of like an octopus. Yeah.
Well, the interior of this room makes me think about, medieval French castle or something. So it looks like, I don't know, Baroque style or something like this.
Yep, Baroque style,
Mm,
ornate, very ornate.
no, yeah, very ornate and it's all kind of, I don't
Do you
Old
know.
like
for
the
old style
style,
furniture.
Ivan?
Yeah.
Do you like the style, Ivan?
Not really. So I would not like to live in such an interior because I would feel like, you know, I'm medieval king or something. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
Fatima, would you like to describe this picture?
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, sure. By the way, I like the idea of describing pictures. It's new to me. Okay, so this is in a room. It was very colorful before Wednesday became her roommate. We can see circle window with colorful designs or drawings, as if spider, as if it's the
Like
what
a
do we call
spider
it?
web,
The
yeah.
spider
yeah.
web or something. Also, we can see a bed, and what is that? Teddy bears everywhere.
Yeah.
Skating rollers down.
Mhm.
What else? I didn't notice this while watching the movie. It was very
Yeah.
fast.
There's a flamingo there, which is from Florida.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Pink flamingo. We call them pink flamingos. That's a symbol of Florida. We have statues of little pink flamingos at tourist attractions. She
Mm,
got roller skates.
roller
Pink.
skates. Yeah,
Fatima, pink ones.
Pink ones, yeah.
penguins.
She's got a little laptop or a tablet in front of her because she vlogs.
Mm-hmm.
Clothes hanging everywhere. That green sheet is kind of draped like an Arabian tent.
Yeah.
It reflects her happiness, I guess.
So she's a happy person, right? She's a happy person. Yeah.
But just this place, you know, it's what defines girlish, in my opinion. You know, so if you
Yeah.
ask who lives here, I would say, you know, 99% it's a girl who lives here.
Very girlish. Yep. Yep. Happy, cheerful, colorful.
Yeah, teddy bears, you know, these puff things.
Yeah. Stuffed animals.
So
I love teddy bears. I've got 3 teddy bears.
I can't imagine my room looking like this. Okay,
And,
let's
yeah.
go.
And I like her character, you know. She maintained the smile on her face at every scene. It's like
Yeah.
over
Yes.
exaggerated smile. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like
Her
that.
character is very happy. Makes you want to smile, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, do you remember she wants to give her a hug to
A hug,
finish
yeah.
them?
Yeah, I understand you're not a hugger, you know. Hug it tight.
We call this kind of personality contagious. She's so happy all the time that you catch happiness from her. You know, she makes you feel good too. So her happiness is contagious.
Yeah, she's smiling to you, you start to smile, you to return. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
makes other people act like her. Yeah.
Yeah.
She lifts
Except
the
Wednesday.
mood. Yeah. Unlike Wednesday. Wednesday
Yeah.
brings everything down. She lifts everything up. Yeah.
Okay. And I think we have time for one more picture. Leila, what do you think about this one? What is this?
In it, her roommate was the guide here, and she's showing the school right around there. And this is the swimming pool. Students were, sitting together, and the groups are there. So the 4 cliques, she's telling Wednesday who they are. It's a kind of, tour.
Yeah, welcome tour, or I don't know.
Yeah.
The students are wearing the uniforms.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Did anyone notice that all of the students have a kind of a bright blue uniform, and Wednesday's uniform is a different shade of blue? Have anyone noticed that?
No.
No, a bit darker, right? You're right, Teacher Lee.
she's got the same uniform, but the shade of blue is a little bit darker,
Right.
which is maybe another kind of Easter egg. She's a darker person than most of these people.
What, anything about the picture?
I remember when they was so serious, the initiate welcome to the quad. It is Pentagon.
Pentagon, yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the style of the building?
Gothic.
Yeah. But I mean,
The arches are weird. I've never seen arches that have that kind of a
yeah, it's
design.
like
That's
thorns.
unusual. Yeah.
That's why I asked.
I don't know what that is. It might be, some countries' architecture, but I've never seen that style before.
Well, when we say Gothic, we expect something like this. So it must be dark. It must be, and it must have a lot of
Right.
not necessary decorations, a lot of them. So if it will
Yeah.
be a column, it will be a column with a lot of some strange circles and balls and everything, a lot of carving. So it's all Gothic style. So
In
Yeah, it's
which
got the-
century Gothic
Yeah.
style is really, really popular?
It's Gothic style, but I'm saying that this particular style of arches are usually smooth on top. This arch is like wavy, like a
Usually,
sine
as
wave.
I told you, look like thorns or wire.
Yeah.
I don't
So-
know.
So it's a different kind of arch than I've ever seen before.
Actually, but it looks very familiar for me. Let's see on this. It's kind of like that. So Gothic cathedrals, they always like this.
They like arches, yeah.
Yeah, they like arches, but all these arches, they are not smooth. Can you see?
Oh. Okay, you may be right. I've never noticed it before.
But in this one, a bit sharper.
A bit, yeah, you're right. But these cathedrals, they're huge. So if you go close, you will see that.
Yeah.
Can you see this window? So,
Yep, that's the round colored window. Yep.
yeah. So it's necessary for every cathedral because it's for sun or something. So there is some idea.
Yeah, lets the light come in.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's switch a few, skip a few. Vova, can you describe this one?
When they have dark uniform.
Black uniform.
I don't
Training suit, I would
I
say.
don't understand. How she get only black? All of them have white.
Mhm.
She must have brought her own personal fencing costume.
What do you think about the interior of this one? It's not a Gothic anymore, right?
Yes, it's Roman.
Roman style, yes, columns, statues,
Sound.
yeah. And these glasses, right, windows.
Mhm.
So it's not a Gothic style anymore. So kind of.
Yeah, more Roman Empire.
Okay, so why is there? So what is happening now?
They are fighting.
Fighting. This sport called fencing, right? You have your how we call it rapier. Teacher, this small
Rapier.
rapier.
I think maybe rapier. They might call it rapier. I'm not sure.
Rapier. So what is the difference between a rapier and a sword?
Sword.
Sword.
Sword is cutting, and the rapier is just.
Yeah, just one direction in the front, right? So you can pierce with rapier, and you can,
It is very
fragile,
light,
very light, very
very, but it's very
Fra-
it can be
broken.
broken.
Yes, very fragile, very light. So it's you have to have a lot of technique, right? To fight.
So a sword blade is flat,
Mhm.
but a rapier is cylindrical. It's like a long, skinny cone.
Mhm.
And the tip is like a pin. The tip is very sharp. And they normally put a ball on the tip so it won't hurt you.
But
Yeah.
I was going to ask that, right?
So when she challenged the girl, she said, no masks and no ball on the tip.
She wanted blood, right?
Yeah, so she wanted a dangerous challenge.
to feed her pets.
I can,
Fearless, yeah.
yeah, how can we call this carpet between
I would just call it a mat.
a mat? Yeah, but
So
it
you
looks,
don't slide.
yeah, it looks like what they have in Asia, you know, like made from bamboo or something.
Yeah, it looks like straw or bamboo
Yeah.
fiber.
And on the right, Lola, can you see on the right between this glass, between these windows, it looks like radiator to me, you know, some heating system or something.
Could be heaters. Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. What about this statue? So, is it goddess? Or something? Gods.
Holding a water bottle on their head, a water vase on their head.
Mhm. And they have, can you see they have balcony in this hall, you know, this balcony is for a royal person, you know, to see the dancing happening or something. Yeah, pretty much interesting. Okay, let's find something. Wow. Osam, could you please describe this picture?
Yeah, this is the thing. And,
Mhm.
she found his presence, and she was say that threatening him about locking him under the table or serving her for the rest of the period in the school. He agreed, and you can see a lot of stitches on his hand, or maybe he had done a lot of adventurous espionage, in the past. And you can see a typewriter and a table lamp and everything.
Yep, old typewriter.
What about your uniform? How we call this, you know, sleeveless
Long sleeve.
Vest,
vest? Yeah,
vest,
yeah, vest is nice. Yeah.
long sleeves, little tie.
Yeah, but this thing is, you know, looks terrible. So it's kind of a, I don't know. I don't want this pet in my house. Let's say.
Yeah,
But
the
I wonder if this thing can clean the house.
Better to have vacuum cleaner for this.
Yeah.
now in this series, she jokes about things. She says he likes soft skin, you know, moisturizing skin, soft skin. He's vain about how pretty he is. If you look at him, he's ugly, right? His skin's been
Yeah.
sewed together. He's really ugly, but she calls him vain. He's so obsessed about his beauty.
Wow.
Well,
A little humor there.
I remember about vacuum cleaner. They have. I remember in the movie. This battle watch. He checked. I don't know, like this.
he checks the dust, right?
The dust, and he said no, and he had a lot of dust, and he just put
He.
the dust on it.
Okay. So instead of vacuum cleaning, instead of removing dust in the movie Addams Family, they spread the dust in the house. Funny. Yeah. Okay, and the last one for today. Fatima, could you please help us with this picture?
This from Wednesday's visit to the psychiatric.
Mhm.
Psychiatrist.
Oh yeah, psychiatrist. We can see two armchairs. Can I call them that like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the design of the room is modern. We can see a chimney, pictures on the wall. The way the psychiatrist wears is very simple with bright color, not bright,
Pastel.
light color, pastel colors. Yeah. What else?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about furniture and what they have, you know, some art.
Oh,
The head
Yeah,
looks
some-
African, I'm gonna guess. I would call it African art.
Yeah.
I can see. Well, something strange. Yes.
Abstract pictures. I can't tell what they are.
Yeah.
Figures of somebody, figures of people.
It's a kind of combination, I can see the painting or picture on the right, just over the fireplace. It's a kind of hanging man. Mhm.
Yeah, what I like in this picture, it's this napkin box, around, close to.
Tissue box, if you cry, yeah.
Oh,
Life is so mean to me.
Oh,
I
it's kind
can do that easily.
it's kind of a message, right? You went here, your job is crying here, right? Okay, nice. So nice class. And so we decided to continue with the series. And it's pretty normal that we don't cover all the questions today because, the first episode we have to do introduction for everyone. So it will go smoother to the next time. So I'm not worried, right? So episode 2 for the next week.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Teacher Lee.
Thank
you,
you.
Teacher Lee.
Thank you for the session.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Fatima, thanks for joining.
Thank you. Bye bye.